Welcome to the stream, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Let me know. What's up, Rob? Welcome back from Saskatoon. I see you over on Behance. How's the sound today? I was a little nervous that it wasn't live. There we go. Okay. My dashboard said nothing was live yet, but I was pretty sure we were live. I see you. So today, if you were with us yesterday, we're continuing on with these coasters. So a coaster, in this case, a drink coaster. Here's an example of one that I got from a restaurant the other night. Okay. So this one happens to be a two-sided design. It's just a thicker piece of cardboard that you set your drinks on, so that way they don't get moisture on your table or on your desk, whatever's going on there. So that's what we're designing for a brand here. And making sure that's good. Okay, cool. I think we're good. So just a quick recap. Here's where we were yesterday. So this was kind of the I wouldn't say final, but this is where I left off, was this look here. And then we jumped into Photoshop, and I was going to start kind of playing around here and texturizing some things. Looking at it with fresh eyes today, I'm not sure that I like some of the angles of this text, so I might play with that a little bit more. What's up, Christian from New Mexico? Grand Rising from New Mexico. I love it. Thanks for tuning in on Behance. I see you. What's up on Twitch? Gavin Carl, you're back. Thanks for tuning in. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep going. And I was thinking about this yesterday, and then I closed it because I wasn't sure if you'd be back. Yesterday, Gavin Carl had asked about the difference between vector, or basically between Illustrator and Photoshop, and I talked about that a little bit. And actually, I'm in Photoshop right now. So we designed all of this in Illustrator. Here's all the different looks we made. And just a real quick recap, we talked about how vector images stay perfect no matter how close you zoom in, right? Get really, really close and these edges stay crispy, right? When we jump into Photoshop, if I try to do that same thing, even though this is vector artwork inside of Photoshop, you can see that Photoshop doesn't know what to do with it when you zoom in. It starts getting what we call pixelated, all right? So it kind of blows up a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. So that's why you set your print files in Photoshop at the exact size you need. And we are working off of a template from Sticker Mule, and the replay is now live. So if you're tuning in now and you're not sure how we got here, if you go to, let me just pull this up real quick. I actually set up a URL. Oh, and shameless plug, this is sponsored by the Graphic Design Bootcamp. It's a course that I made. Check it out at derrickmitchell.com. But if you go to creativebrief.live, it's a domain that I own that just redirects to my live page on Behance, creativebrief.live, or behance.net/Mitchell's Garage. So if you go to my former live streams here, and scroll down, I haven't made a thumbnail for it yet, but it's this guy, Design Drink Coasters in Photoshop and Illustrator with Derrick Mitchell. So if you want to see how we got to this point in the stream, you can check out this replay. It is now live. All right, cool. So let's get to it. Let's dive in. So right now I have this file inside of Photoshop. And what we did is we designed a bunch of different looks, a bunch of different ideas inside of Illustrator to get us started here. Here's all the different looks that we made. I kind of like that one, coming back to it. So we're going to keep playing around with this a little bit. What I want to show you right now, though, we're going to jump into Photoshop first, I think. I just have an idea in my head that I want to try. Oh, which reminds me. Okay, so let me just open this up real quick. This is a file that I got forever ago. I bought it from the Creative Market. Let me see if I can remember this guy's name. Retro Supply. So I'm just going to search for Retro Supply Creative Market. Looks like he's got his own website. Let's jump into here. Okay, so just to show you where I originally got this quick texture before we dive in and start using it. So this, if you go to creativemarket.com, you search for Retro Supply. So he's got all kinds of amazing things, amazing assets, whether it's Procreate brushes or Illustrator things or halftone stuff for Photoshop, like all kinds of very, very cool vintage retro effects. And so this is one that this isn't the one, but this was cool. It just caught my attention real quick. I was looking at this. Anyway, that's where I purchased this quick textures pack. And I can show you here in a second how to do your own textures, but this is a really, really cool file. Also, let me make sure. I got to pull up a different window to make sure you guys can see what I can see what you're seeing. There we go. Okay. So basically the way this works is this is a file with a bunch of different folders with different texture effects. So all you got to do is drop in, that subtle concrete is a nice one. I don't know why some of them, I've probably screwed up this file in the past by working fast and saving over the top of it. But so what you do is you open up the folder with the texture you want. There is your mask. Basically, this is a mask that's affecting whatever's below it. Okay, so I can put my artwork right in here. In fact, I'm just going to double click on this smart object. Where's that at? It's way the heck over here. Okay, we're going to try this differently, actually. I didn't plan ahead to try this, but let's go grab. Which one do we want to do? We want to do that one. I think I'm going to apply it directly to this layer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to go to duplicate group. And instead of duplicating it right inside of this file, I'm going to change the document from the destination being the one that we're in right now to the circle coaster Photoshop file. So it's going to duplicate this layer over here in this one. Let's go ahead and click OK. Let's see what we get. We'll jump over to this file. All right, so it's here. Let's go ahead and move this. Oh, it brought that over too. Interesting. Okay, well, let's delete that. We're going to unlink this, Command T to free transform, and I can move this over the top of it. This is a pretty aggressive texture. Let's just see if there's a spot that just gives me a little bit. I don't think I like the brightness contrast effect, so let's just delete that. Nope, I want to delete the layer mask. There we go. All right. So if I shift click on this mask, I can hide it to see it with or without. So that's a pretty aggressive texture. It might be okay. Let's scrub it down a little bit and see. Nope. Lock that. Trying to decide how I want to do this. All right, I'm just going to save this for now. And then I'm going to show you another way to work. So this file is really fun. Uh-oh, program error. Let's try that again. There we go. I think it's because I hadn't connected to my server yet this morning. What's up? Is it Clever or Cleaver? Devlin. Hi, work lurking from near San Antonio, Texas. I love it. Thanks for tuning in. I see you on Behance. Okay, that'll save. All right, so I showed you how to basically use somebody else's texture. I didn't really show you. This is just a file I have open, kind of a great time saver. But let's say you want to make your own textures. Let's experiment with that a little bit. Because this is, although it's cool, it's a little too much, I think. So what we're going to do, I'm going to jump over to a website that I really enjoy called Texture King. And there's lots of places here. In fact, let's just open up a few. And we'll kind of look at all these. Stock.adobe.com. Okay. So, uh-oh. It's not going to let me do it. I haven't been to this website in forever. And I usually use Chrome. So Safari might be overprotective here. Huh. try Chrome. Interesting. Okay, well, that's new. We'll leave it alone. I used to use Texture King. Apparently I don't anymore. Let's jump over to, actually, we could even do a Google search for those of you looking for freebies. Let's do grunge texture. Look at that, all kinds of stuff. So we can search for different websites that have grunge textures, or we could just go to images and create our own. So let's see, we could do some light scuffing here. The other thing, we could refine I'm gonna come over here to tools, Google. Let's refine our search a little bit. We want the size. Let's make it a larger image. That way we know it's a little bit higher quality to work with. Let's see what happens here. Let's grab this guy. I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna view image in a new window. Sure. No, I don't want it to download. Oh my gosh, you guys, why am I finding all of the crappy? This is why you hang around at Envato Elements or Adobe Stock. You get high quality stuff without getting viruses on your computer. All right, let's see. How about this one? Elements, Envato Elements, open in a new window. Okay, so here, oh, it's got a watermark on it. Guys, I'm striking out. I was trying to show you some free ways to do this. I know there's other free ways. It's just been a while because I really enjoy Envato Elements. So we might as well do the sales pitch now. I am an affiliate, but I don't have an affiliate link. So, I mean, I highly recommend Envato Elements. If you guys get a chance, check it out. Just look for grunge texture. What I love about it is for one price for the month, you get unlimited access to any asset you need, which is super helpful. Lots of really great stuff. Vector grunge textures, those are cool. I feel like I'm getting off track here. I just wanted to show you real quick. Just real quick, that's all. I'm all over the place today, guys. Sorry. It's all right. Let's try it this way. There we go. Okay. So if you get an image, we're in the browser. I've opened it up. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy this image. You could save it if you want to, but I'm just going to jump right back into Photoshop and I'm just going to paste it in here. Command V to paste. All right, so that's a pretty good size. I could scale it up if I want to, or just leave it as is. Now what we're going to do on this layer, that's my texture. In fact, you can even rename it texture if you want, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to image, adjustments, and we're going to go down to, well, there's 100 ways to work, right? So we could try a few different things. Let's jump down to posterize. Okay. And we could start playing around with what it does with that. I'm going to cancel. We could go to image mode. I'm sorry, image adjustments, threshold. This is probably going to be our best bet here. Okay. But by doing it this way, you'll notice we basically have black or white. We're going to have on and off. We're going to create a mask. So if it's black, it's going to hide it. If it's white, it'll reveal it. Okay. I'm going to cancel that. The nozzle I'm going to show you is levels. So if we go to adjustments, down to levels, right here. And I just crank this up. Crank this down. And I'm just trying to create more contrast between the highs and lows. And this might be a bad texture to start with, it looks like. Click OK. Command Shift U. I'm going to desaturate this. There we go. Okay, so what I could do, lots of ways to work here. Again, I could use letter L to get a selection, quick selection tool, and I could just grab part of this thing if I want to. I could grab the whole thing by command clicking on the thumbnail, and now I've got a selection around the whole image. Or maybe there's just part of this that is visually interesting from this texture. Either way, make a selection. We'll go to Edit, down to Define Brush Preset. Okay, so this is my sampled brush. You can see the line, the edges are pretty hard on this. So what I'm going to do is cancel. I'm going to change my feathering. Let's change to like, I don't know, 20 pixels or so. So I'm up here in the options bar. We're gonna make a selection again. And this time those edges will be a little softer. Edit, define brush. It's tough to see in this little tiny thumbnail, but it is a little bit softer. I'll click OK. And now check it out. I've got a brush right here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to turn off this texture layer. I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to turn off, let's see. All right, so I've got my vector smart object here. I'm going to add down here this little button. It's got a, oh, you can't see it behind my head. There we go. We're going to add a mask. So a square with a circle in it, we're going to click on that and it adds a mask to this artwork here. Okay, so now I'm on the mask layer. And what I'm going to do is I want to paint with black as my foreground color. So I'll hit the letter D to reset my swatches. So it's white and black. Then hit the letter X to swap. So my fill is now black. So now anywhere I click, it masks, right? So if I click, I'm basically erasing away on this mask layer, but if I shift click, I just turn it off. It didn't hurt the artwork. I'm just painting on top. Okay, so let's undo that because I don't like how that looks. And in fact, let's see, I'm gonna add a layer behind it, fill it with white. So I could start kind of clicking and creating my own textures and kind of wearing the edges. The next thing I could do, this is a brush. So we just defined a brush. So if I come over to my brushes window, which I can click up here to do it, but let's just go to window, down to brushes. All right, so now that brush will be at the bottom of all of my other brushes. Should be anyway. Uh-oh. Computer's getting a little jittery. Why is it doing that? All right, let's just do it this way. So I am going to go to my brush settings. I said brushes, but really we wanted brush settings. Okay, so now what I can do, I can do a lot of things. Right now we're going to turn on shape dynamics. I'm going to make the size jitter a little bit, which means it's going to get bigger and smaller every time I click. We're going to jitter the angle a little bit. So see the sample of what it's going to do down here? Every time I click, it's going to rotate that brush. I can adjust the roundness a little bit. And then scattering. So every time I click, it's going to kind of jump around a little bit. Okay. So now when I come back up here, making sure I'm on the mask layer, watch what happens to the brush when I click once, and then it moves automatically, okay? That way it doesn't look like you're using the same stamp every time you click on this thing. Which as I start to click on this, I really don't like this brush that I made very much. So I'm just gonna kind of distress the edges just a tiny bit, and then I might switch brushes here. And I might change the layer behind it. I'll make a new one, and this time maybe I'll fill it with black. That's better. That's half the problem. Okay, so I'm hiding parts of the artwork, and whatever's below is going to show through. So this white shows below right now. In fact, if I change the color, it might be easier to see. Let's make it, I don't know, blue or whatever. So you can see the layer below showing through because of this mask on the artwork. So by making it black, it feels a little dirtier. But I like the effect. So now what we can do, I can use that same brush to kind of start, you know, eroding things away here. And maybe I push it too far and I just kind of do the whole thing. Let's just go for it. Let's just go nuts. Okay. So there we go. We've got a good base for this. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to hit the letter X. So it's going to swap. So instead of my foreground being black, my foreground is going to be white. And now I'm going to click on it again. And now what it's doing is it's adding white, and that white is painting over the black mask area, and it's bringing back the artwork. Okay. So you can really you know, it's kind of like working with clay, right? You can kind of massage it into place and get it exactly what you want it to be by either painting with white or painting with black to hide it or reveal it. Does that make sense? All right. So just kind of playing around with this. What do you guys think? Do you like the texture? The texture idea, or should I keep it clean? Nice and clean coaster, or kind of a weathered look to it. So right now I'm painting with white, and it's just kind of cleaning it up a tiny bit. So the other thing I could do, as soon as I click on this one time to mask, it's more than I want it to be. So what I can do, because this is a brush up here in the options bar, I've got my brush tool selected, and now I can scrub this back a little bit. Let me check something. All right, cool. Anyway, I can scrub the opacity down or the flow down on the brush, and now when I click, it's not quite so aggressive. There we go. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that button, but hey, while it's up there, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Derrick Mitchell. If you're learning something and want to support the cause, feel free. I appreciate it. However, the best way, if you're digging what I'm doing, you want to learn more, you can check out my stuff on Skillshare.com. I'm on Udemy.com. I also have my website at DerrickMitchell.com. You guys can check that out. I've got a bunch of courses if you want to learn more about how to be a graphic designer. I love this kind of stuff. I love painting with textures, and I feel like I spend a long time, probably too much time, but it's therapeutic and I enjoy it. I had it good about a minute ago, and then I started talking and I got distracted. Now I got to bring it back because I went too far the wrong way. All right. The other thing you got to do is you got to remember to look over on your layers and make sure you're still working on your mask and not destroying your artwork. If it's a smart object like this, it won't let you do it. But if it's a raster layer, you just got to pay attention to that kind of stuff. All right. What's up on YouTube? Is it Mahin Abu? I hope I said your name right. All right. So sorry guys, I went too far. I'm going to clean this up just a tiny bit more. While I'm doing this, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from, what you're up to. Also, let me know if, some of you, I know you want to be a designer, but you currently have a full-time job doing something else, or maybe you're a student. Some of you are already in the design world. Let me know what you're working on, what your favorite things are, if it's logo design or printing or web design. Okay, so close. All right, let's grab another. Okay, so right now, this mask, student from the Philippines, that's awesome. What is an Archie student? I don't know what that is. Archie? Oh, architecture? Is that what that is? I'm assuming. Let me know. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm working on this mask and I'm happy with where it's at. So I'm going to grab the whole. No, I'm not, but I could. I'm going to pull this layer down so it's outside of this group. I'm going to click on this group here and add another layer mask. So that way everything I do here doesn't affect what I've already done. Architecture. Cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Don't forget to save your work when you're working, like I do. I always forget to save. A program error. That's scary. Let's try it again. Yeah, I think it's just because it's trying to connect to my server, and then Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm going to name this V2. See if it'll let me save. All right, back on the mask. Let's go back to our brushes. Let's go find a different brush. I've got a bunch of great texture brushes in here, and I wish I could remember where I found them all. But hey, on a side note, so I'm going to start kind of like a Patreon page. So Behance is going to start monetizing the channel and giving us opportunities to do some special subscription things. So I don't know, for like $10 a month, you'll be able to subscribe to some of my behind the scenes stuff, LUTs, so lookup tables, colorings for photos, maybe even brushes for Photoshop, all kinds of different bonus packs. So stay tuned for that. That'll be in the next couple weeks. That'll be coming. And I'll be able to start including some of the stuff that I do, so you guys will have access to it, which will be super cool. That is not the texture we want. Let's do a halftone supply. Boom. Oh yeah, that's the look we want. Okay, let's... Super subtle, but it made all these little dots. Okay, kind of a halftone thing. If I turn it off or on, you can see what we did there. Turn this off. I think together it works pretty well. Might be a little dark. I don't know, but I'm digging it. Okay, we got some texture in there. That is good. I kind of beat that up a lot. Rob, yeah, works for a newspaper. Remember those? Haha. I do. And in fact, I think, you know what's interesting? I've noticed, oh my gosh. First of all, I've noticed my server apparently is upset this morning. I don't understand though. Something's going on. Something is not happy. Save it. So I noticed, I'm just going to save this on my desktop. Something's weird. Third bowl circle coaster. Sure. Okay. Too many things at once. I've noticed print is coming back. So with all the censorship and stuff that's happening on social media, doesn't matter which side of the road you're on politically or beliefs or whatever, notice that social media is, you know, they tend to control what you see. Right? It could be as simple as showing you more of what you already like or not showing you other things. I'm not trying to get political with this at all. What I'm saying is that I've noticed a lot of companies are trending towards printed ads again because they can control what actually goes out and who sees it, which I find interesting. I've noticed with some of the companies I work for. So just an interesting time, interesting thought. So yeah, I don't know, Rob, you might be in good shape here pretty soon. Want to become famous by followers, primes, and viewers. No thanks. Sorry. That's funny. Okay. So let's jump back in. So we're in Photoshop right now. If I wanted to send this to Sticker Mule, let's say we're all done and we're happy with the design. I just saved this to my desktop. So I'm going to go back to Sticker Mule. I love this website. I love their prints. Oh, you know what else I was going to look for? Another company I use is called 4/4. So 4/4. Let's talk about that. When you go to print, Rob can tell you about this. So sometimes you'll see something. It looks like, let me show you. It looks like this. Let's just make a new document. You go to order something on, you know, printed, and you might see something that looks like this, 4/0, or you might see 4/1, or you might see 4/4. So 4/4 or 4/0. What that means is the front side of whatever you're designing, if it's 4/0, the front is full color. It's got 4 colors. Remember, we have cyan, magenta. Here, we have cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Let's show options. So cyan, jumping into some print theory, color theory. Okay, cyan There's your cyan color, right? So that's one ink color. We have magenta. We have yellow. And we have black. So if you're designing something with full color, 4 colors, you're using a little bit of all 4 of these colors to produce whatever color you're looking with, or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so depending, it doesn't matter how much of whatever color you're using. If you use even 1% of this slider, you're now using 4 colors, right? Okay, so if the front was this green and the back had nothing on it, it was just white, that'd be 4 over 0. Let's say the back had 1 color, which could be as simple as, typically that means it's black. It's all black, right? But that could be not necessarily a black flood. It could just be black text or something on the back. Okay, that'd be 4 over 1. 4 over 4 is you've got full color in the front, full color in the back. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's jump back over here, 4over4.com. Don't forget to check out the bootcamp at derrickmitchell.com. All right, so this is a great spot to check out. I ordered business cards from them, and here is a sample of their quality. This is for the Third Bowl brand. I don't know if it'll focus. There it is. Super cool, super thick card. It's got a red stripe down the side. The camera's not going to be able to pick up on that. The front has a bunch of details. Let's cover up cell phone numbers and stuff. Is it going to focus? Focus. Well, whatever. You get the point. I got these cards from 4over4.com. I've used a lot of different printers over the years. I just happened to find some. Oh, you know what? Here's another sample card. These are super cool. This is one of my favorite cards. Again, hiding cell phone numbers and stuff. It's going to focus. Focus. Anyway, let's try this. So, and you can't really tell, but that card has glitter. Has glitter in it. Super cool. And I got this from here as well. So if you go to business cards, I don't even remember. Here we go. Ultra thick diamond glitter. These cards are amazing. I love them. Super cool stuff. All right. So what I'm looking for real quick is a drink coaster. Let's see if we can find one. Awesome. Okay. So on Sticker Mule, I noticed 2 things. One, I go up here to more and come down to coasters. I noticed that it seems like their designs are only one-sided and they only have round coasters. Okay, which is fine. It's whatever. So for 50, it's $65. For 100, it's $88. Obviously, the more you order, the more you save. Let's check out 4x4. All right, so size. Okay, another interesting thing. So on Sticker Mule, these are 3. So if I go back to the template somewhere, these are 3.7 inches. Okay. Again, not that it matters too much. These have options. So we've got 3.5, 3.75, 4, or 4-inch circle. And check this out. I can do as few as 10 for $24. So it seems like, as much as I love Sticker Mule, if I'm not sure I want to commit to 50 of these things, which I do, but if I wasn't sure and I just want like 10 of them, 4x4 seems to do very, very small quantities, which is nice. And check it out. They've got the square with the rounded rectangle style or the circle style. And I'll bet, yes, ink color. There we go. There's that 4/4 we were talking about. You can't see it. Oh my goodness, guys. Sorry. Wow. So let's step it back. Okay, I was talking to myself and all you can see was my face, not the screen. I went back to this template. You can see the size here. let's jump back over here. I'm on 4x4. We're looking at these coasters. Sorry, I lost you for a second. So on Sticker Mule, I was saying you have to order at least 50 of them for $65. On 4x4, we can do as few as 10, okay? And then we've got our different sizes here that I was mentioning. We can choose what size we want. We can choose our paper type. Wow, we can do some like super thick stuff. Very cool. A seam color. Oh, that is cool. So on the seam, it will do right there. See how the seam, the side of the paper, it'll do a color. That could be really cool. The ink color, we can do full color front and a blank back. That's what the 4/0 means, nothing on the back, or full color, 4 colors on both sides. All right. Let's see. So 50 of these, $67. Here it's 65. So it's almost the exact same cost. Oh my goodness. Circles are a lot more expensive. What? No seam color. Why are they so expensive? Huh. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do some research to figure out I want to try and go this route or not. So they all, looking at the fine print, they all have 3/8 inch rounded corners or 4-inch circle. Okay, so everything I designed already is already for the Sticker Mule. So if I'm ready to print this, I already showed this on the last stream, but we didn't use a Photoshop file. This time I'm going to use a Photoshop file. So I'm going to choose the file, go to my desktop, and go to that Photoshop file. So there's that coaster we just did. Looks pretty cool. I'll click upload. Interesting side note, that file is 27 megs. So we were talking about the difference between Vector or Illustrator and Photoshop. So that's a bigger file as a Photoshop file, whereas an Illustrator file was only like 2 megabytes. It's really, really small. All right, speed, redesign. Okay, ever done? Oh, I've got some comments over here. Let's see. Rob, ever done any lenticular printing with these companies? I have not. Is it, I want to say Cleaver. I'm so sorry. Is it Clever? Speed, redesign to square or diamond and do it with ultra thick diamond glitter like the card. That would be dope. I don't know if I have glitter as an option on the drink coaster paper type. I either have really thick or crazy super thick as my options. Let's do the 48 point optional seam color. Let me look at these samples up here. You can see this red. Red or black would probably be my best bets. Red center. Sure, why not? Ink color. We could do both sides. Okay, but then I got to come up with the back side. That's all right. Round corners. Yes. Straight to production. No, we'll do a free online proof just to make sure it looks good. Okay, 3.75 inches. And then let's see. I'm trying to remember what I even uploaded to them last time I did something. Let's see if they've got their templates. don't think this product templates is what I'm looking for. I think this is like templates for creating your own stuff. Yeah, no, that's not what I want. Typically, I'll just give them like a 1/8 inch bleed all the way around. It's fine. So that is one thing I do like about Sticker Mule is it's so basic and so simple. You just upload it and be done with it. Let's see. 4 over there was a couple times where it was a little difficult to work with. Hold on, let me check something. Clever like forever. Thanks. You're welcome. Sorry, names are important to get right. And I just want to make sure. Okay. So what you would do, you could sign in to make an account, but basically you have your products here. So whatever you added to the file, give me your information, upload the files later, or you can upload them right now. Then you do your shipping details, your payment details, and then you're good to go. Okay. So, let's see. I'm just kind of clicking through, trying to decide how I want to move forward on this. Okay, so I already made this guy. I can order this on Sticker Mule and be done with it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little different. If this was going in a bar or a restaurant or somewhere, I would probably put a contact information of some kind, like a web address. Because we're using these in our own offices, it's fine like it is. But let me show you how I would do that if I was going to do it. Let's double click on this artwork, this vector smart object. We got this circle here. How wide is this? We're in points. Let's go to document setup. Change the units from points to inches. Okay. So this circle is the exact, this is the trim line basically for our artwork. So that's where it's getting cut off at. So I'm going to copy the circle. Bring it in just a little bit. And then I'm going to get my type on a path tool. We're in Illustrator. Click on this path and we're going to type in thirdbowl.com. And I always go to a web browser and paste in exactly what I typed to make sure it pulls up a website and it's actually there. And I got it right. Okay, cool. So then I know it's the correct address. Let's make this, let's make it white for now so we can see it. I'll probably make it red. Let's change the font to Jen. Let's click on this guy, hit return. Let's flip it, preview it. Boom. Okay. So now I can hit my rotate tool. Rotate this a little bit. What size is this? This is 12 points, so that'll be pretty large. That'll be great. Make it a touch smaller. Maybe track it out a tiny bit. Okay, so the trim line's there. It's pretty close to the edge. Let's scale it down just a touch to kind of make it safe. Plus, I like, so right here where this line ends, we've got this negative space between here. Let's just draw. Between here and here is about the same. About the same. It's close. Okay. I'm going to turn that off. Save it. Close it. Let's see, we were in Photoshop. Okay. Okay, something crazy's going on. So I must have moved. That's a bummer. Okay. Let's go back into our smart object. Let's turn that line back on. Save it. Jump back over to Photoshop. Okay, so I didn't totally line this up very well. Let's use my arrow keys to nudge the whole artwork a little bit. This isn't the best way to work, you guys. I'm just kind of playing around, to be honest, and showing you my thoughts as I go through it. What's up, Omar? I see you. Thanks for the rose and the prayer emoji thing. I see on Behance. All right. So, okay. So now this is going to follow the curve better, which is great. That's good. But the B gets cut off. I don't like. I think we need to refine the design a little bit. All right, this guy. That's more better. All right. That's interesting. I don't know. We'll try it. So what happened there? Oh, that screwed everything up. So because okay, there's a couple things going on here. So I designed this originally in Illustrator. In here is a bunch of the original, like, hey, and I should have made those changes here. Whatever, doesn't matter. So I started here and then I pasted the entire thing into Photoshop. So when it comes into Photoshop, you'll see this little icon. I wish I could, can I? What happens if I zoom in? Nope, that gets weird. This little icon here means this layer is a smart object. So we're in Photoshop, but it still remembers all of the vector details. So when I double click on this little icon on this layer, it opens up that artwork as a separate, up here you see it says vector smart object. This is a separate, unrelated, like self-contained vector asset. So as I change things here, it's not changing my original design comps, but because this bowl goes so far past every change, when I changed the layout of this text here, it shifted my artwork. So see, we got that circle on again. So see, I need to kind of nudge it. So this is not the best way to work. I don't really know why I started it out this way. I think it's because I was going to add the texture in Photoshop and whatever. So I feel like the needs to come back in a little bit further. Okay. Better. Okay, so now we're gonna grab his texture, hit the letter B to get my texture brush back on. I'm gonna click on this layer, and instead of painting with black to hide, I'm gonna hit X. Actually, that texture is not really even doing that much down here, but let's just clean it up a tiny bit. And then this texture was 1500 halftone supply 5. And then the new one that we made is this guy. And we are painting with white. Kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay. Cool. That's better, I think. I think that's better. I wish I could see more of the text bowl. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share this with the guys on my team. So what I'm going to do is hit Command, Shift, and the number 4. And then I can just click and drag over my artwork and then let go. And it's going to take a picture and it's going to throw it on my desktop. And then I can open up messages, take that photo and just text it to the group, and they can look at it and let me know if they like it. So if you have a client you're working with and they do texting, that's an easy way to share your artwork and see what they think. You could also go to File and Save As and save a version of this that's just a comp. But it's a quick and easy way to share your artwork with somebody. Okay, cool. So we got some texture on here. We've got a couple different looks that we can experiment with. The next thing I need to do, and I'll probably do it offline, is looking at making a coaster through 4over through this website, which means I get to redesign some stuff. Clever says speed redesign to square. Okay, or diamond. All right, let's just do it. Let's just keep going. What time is it? Check my calendar real quick and make sure I'm not missing a call. What do you guys think? You guys enjoying this? Is this helpful? All right, I've got a few more minutes to go here. Yeah. All right. So we got to make a decision. What size are we going to do? So I'll probably order the ones that I just designed through Sticker Mule, do a few versions of those. And then for 4over, let's go back. Let's go back. All right, size, if it's 3.75, it'll be almost the exact same size as the circle ones. Let's do that. But they'll have a front and a back. Full color, both sides. That's so cheap. Granted, it's still $1 a piece, so it's like handing out $1 bill every time you put a coaster under your drink. Clever says, I like it. Andrew, what's up? Says, oh, cool. It's the same brand you were designing in the stream a few weeks ago. Yeah. Also, Andrew, if you were watching that a few weeks ago, check it out. I got the business cards ordered. They're back. They're super cool. Printed and stuff. I'd show you the other side, but it's white. It doesn't show up so good on the camera. So anyway, yeah, super cool. Fun stuff. Let's go back to this one. All right. So what we're going to do is we've got everything made. I've got everything ready to upload to Sticker Mule for this version. Now what I'm going to do is just create something from scratch. So in the last one, we had a template to work from, but because we're using 4over, I can just do whatever I want. Well, I can't do whatever I want, but like I can start from scratch. So let's see, 3.75. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do this in Photoshop. I'm going to say yes. Let's learn. Okay. So we're going to jump into Photoshop. We're going to make a new document. And this is going to take me like half an hour. I'm going to blow past my deadline. It's all right. Okay. So this is the original size is 3.75. Nope. 75 inches. The height is the same. Now the resolution, this is really, really important. If you are printing, you want it to be 300 pixels per inch. Okay. If you're doing screen stuff, a lot of times it's 72 with the new like ultra high density displays and stuff. You might double that or make it like 144. That's another topic for another day. Leave it at 300. Okay. Now here is something, color mode. You want to send this to print as a CMYK document. However, while you're designing, I tend to leave it as an RGB, and here's the reason why. I'll go ahead and click create. Rob's probably cringing. When you have an RGB document, and you can tell, like if you look up here in the tabs, which is probably difficult on stream because the screen's so small, but I've got the file name, and then in parentheses, it says CMYK up here. So I know this is a CMYK document, which for print, you want CMYK. Over here, this new one I made is an RGB document. Now, the reason why I typically do RGB is if I come up here to filter, down to all these effects, all these filters, all of these are available to me right now, which currently for what I'm doing, I don't really need them. But when you're designing in Photoshop, that's a lot of the reason why I use Photoshop. There's a lot of cool things you can apply. Now, if it's a CMYK document, not all of these are available. Granted, a lot more of these are available than they ever used to be, but like the camera raw filter, I use a lot, not available. Okay. So when you're all done with the artwork, I'm just going to skip ahead to the end. Let's just pretend. Let's just come over here and grab what we just did, copy it, jump over Photoshop, paste it in here as a smart object. Okay, this is just for samples only. Okay, we've got our document. What was I going to show you? Oh, let's say you're ready to be done with it and ship it. So we go to image, down to mode. And again, we're in Photoshop now. And you convert it from an RGB document to a CMYK document. And depending on what you're doing, you would flatten it so that way everything looks the way you intend it. And now the colors didn't change for me on screen because Photoshop does a really good job of showing you what the colors will look like. But now my document's a CMYK document. So I do that as the last step when I'm ready to send it. Okay, but we're not done yet. So we have our document, which is currently 3.75 inches wide. Let's make a new layer. We'll call this trim. I'm just going to fill it with blue so I can see what this is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to image size. Let's change this to 4 inches, which is going to add a 1/4 inch to our file size, which will give me 1/8 of an inch on all sides, which I wish I had a better way of showing you this. I goofed. I'm sorry, guys. Rob says he did cringe as far as the RGB versus CMYK thing. Yeah, you have to be careful when converting it to black. So there's a lot more to it, but this is me. This is like working on the artistic angle of it for the filters and stuff. If you're truly working for print, another thing that might be even better for you. Sorry, we're all over the place today, guys. I'm going to open up InDesign. While that's thinking about it, I'm going to drag these guides down. And I'm using the Option key to switch from a vertical to a horizontal, so you can drag guides out from either side in Photoshop. Okay, that's my trim. Now let's make the canvas bigger. Let's make it 4. Actually, is that the way I want to do it? Image. Canvas size, not the image size, the canvas size. So we're not scaling the image, we're changing the canvas size. Big, 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 big difference. So right now it's 3.75 inches by 3.75 inches. So I could either just flat out say, hey, make it 4 inches, or I could say relative. I want to add 0.25 inches to both sides. Okay. And I can tell it to say, add it from the left side or from the top corner or from the center and blow it out. Click OK. And now it added a 1/4 inch to the document, but that's an 1/8 inch on this side and an 1/8 inch on this side. Okay. So I could call this bleed. And I could fill it with, I'm just trying to show you guys, like, this is not necessarily how I would do all this, but I'm trying to explain the concept as I go. So when I would design this, I'd design it all the way to the edge, okay? Whatever the artwork is. And then the trim is where they would actually cut the artwork, okay? So I would send them this file at this size, knowing it's gonna get trimmed down to that 3.75 inch sizing. All right. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. He says, so he was talking about he did cringe, but he says, I'm a pro. Thank you. He said, trust the process. Plus, he appreciates that I'm teaching the basics of print design and it's becoming a lost art. It truly is. Like, there's a lot of it that I learned when I was in college. I worked in a print shop for a while, which is where I learned a lot of this stuff, setting up files and learning how stuff breaks. So if you guys get a chance to work in a print shop or volunteer or just check it out, it definitely helps you understand how to set up your files a lot better. All right, so this is still unsaved. Let's save this as, I'm gonna save this on my desktop too, which is a horrible workflow, but for whatever reason, my server is being difficult today. All right, let's call this T3B. I'm gonna call this, okay, so you don't want to do a slash in your file name. So let's call this 4_4 coaster. This is, I don't know. There's lots of better naming conventions. Let's just do that. No, let's not do that. Let's do, sure. Okay. I'm going to save this on my desktop again because my server's being dumb. I don't want to corrupt the file. All right. So we've got our file set up. We've got our bleed. We got our trim. Now we can start designing in here. And it said it's going to have, let's jump back over to the document settings. Wrong browser. They say it is a, I think it was a 3/8 inch rounded corners. Okay. So if I get my rounded or my rectangle tool, let's just do whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna click and drag. Okay, and my corner handles show up and I can actually round this off, or I can come up here and tell it to be, oh, what is 3/8 in decimal? Can I just type in 3/8? I think I can. Up here, I'm in the options bar. It's tough to see, but there's a little rounded rectangle. I'm gonna hit tab. It did, it converted it. So 0.375, that does not look right. Is that right? Rob, is that right? Did I math that right? Let's open up our calculator. It's been a long time since I've converted stuff this way. Yeah, 0.375. That's huge. That is a huge rounded corner. 0.375. Okay. I think that's right. Rob, let me know. Clever says, I used to do it all in a print shop, typesetting, paste up, shooting negatives, plate burning, press, binder. Dude, you did all kinds of stuff. Oh no, poor network connection. Rob says, yep, that's right on the measurements. Did my stream just drop? Are we still good? Why is my video quality poor? What's going on? Hey, Jalen. My daughter just fired up the PlayStation and she's playing Fortnite. You playing Fortnite? Why is my internet? Am I back? Am I back? Can you guys hear me now? My stream froze. Oh no, it should be fine. Okay. The chat went down. That just disappeared on me. Sorry, guys. Okay. Ah, the voice hasn't been synced all stream. That's a bummer. That's annoying. So my daughters and myself and my wife, we all play Fortnite. It's a ton of fun. I don't know why. We're nerds. It's fun. But they both fired up the PlayStations, and now they're cutting into my bandwidth. It's all good. I gotta figure out the voice sync though. That's annoying. How far off is it? I'm gonna clap. Is it like way off? Okay. I think we're back. I think we're good. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if we're good. I'll keep going. I'm still on. Voice has been synced. Okay. So we were doing measurements. We were working on the corners. So a 3/8 inch rounded corner is that. So now I can see what my corners are going to be. And in fact, there's a way, oh gosh, I don't remember how to do it. There is a way to convert this shape to a guide in Photoshop. And I don't remember. It's been forever. New guides from shape. So if you go to view, all the way down to the bottom, new guides from shape. So if I click on that, check it out. Let's see if it worked. It didn't work. I did something wrong. Window, or view, new guides from shape. I'm doing something wrong. There's a way to do it. Andrew says, I don't have any sync issues. Awesome. Thank you. About 2 seconds off for Clever. Maybe you can refresh your browser and it'll reload. Okay. So now we've got our file set up. I'm gonna hit save. So at least if we get distracted, we're in good shape. So now I can see this is just called rectangle 1. We'll call this, I'm gonna call this one, it doesn't matter. This is just for me to see kind of how the document's going to shape up when I'm doing my artwork. Okay. So I could shift click all these. I could group them and call them guides. And my shortcut Command Shift R is my personal shortcut that I set up to rename layers. So that way I can quickly do stuff. Command Shift R, type in whatever, hit return. And so to do that, if you go to edit down to keyboard shortcuts, and under layer, is it layer? Right here, rename group. So that wasn't there before. I think Command Shift R by default is the liquefy effect or whatever. So if you go to, go down to edit, keyboard shortcuts, you can actually type in, you can pick like literally every single menu item in Photoshop or Illustrator has a corresponding option here in the shortcuts menu. So you could literally create your entire workflow, have shortcuts, and then save them. So that's what I did. Anyway, detour there. Okay, so we got our guide. So I can turn this on and off. It's just for me to kind of know I've got my files set up right. So now what we can do, so Clever way back in the stream was like, hey, you could do a quick, where did he say that? Speed redesign. So much for being fast. I'm trying to show you guys the process as we go. Yeah, not very fast though. Let's see. All right. So let's jump back into, this guy. How do I want to do this? I'm going to grab this group. I'm going to right click and duplicate it. And instead of duplicating it right in this file, I'm going to hit the drop down on the destination and I'm going to throw it over to that square coaster we were doing. We'll click OK. And so now everything we just did got pushed over here. So we got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Also, another shortcut with your move tool selected in the options bar. This auto select layer or group option is really handy if you want to just be able to click into your artwork and grab a specific piece, or this checkbox is selected, if I hit the command key, it toggles that on and off. So I hit command. Now it's not going to auto select. It'll only move whatever the last thing that is selected. So right now, if I click and drag, you'll notice that the mask above stays in place. Let's undo that. Undo that one more time. So that's what I did. I held down command to toggle off my auto select layer, and then I just click and drag to move that up where I want it to be. Okay, that's close. But the design doesn't really fit the format anymore, so let's kind of clean that up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and turn off the circle on this version, which, just to double check, I turned off that line here. Notice up top it says Smart Object 2. So in theory, it shouldn't screw up my other artwork that we have open here, wherever that was. Was it this guy? However, I do need to turn off that circle onto here. So let's go into the Smart Object. Yeah, so we got two different Smart Objects open, right? Okay, good. I'm going to turn off this. Save it. Yes. Close it. Jump over to Photoshop. All right, looks good. Save that one. Jump over to the new one we're making. All right. So the other thing I could do with this shape, I could bring it to the front. Okay, hang with me here. I'm going to make a fake mask, kind of like what they did in the last document. In this document here from Sticker Mule, they have this layer, this template layer up top. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's because it's locked. Unlock it. So you can kind of see it's just sitting on top of the artwork, just hiding what's below it. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to command click on the thumbnail to get a selection. I'm going to go to select inverse to get everything else. I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to fill it with white. Command delete to fill it with the background color, or option delete to fill it with foreground. Well, since the background's white, I'll hit command delete and fill it with white. Or you can go to edit, fill, and do it that way too. Okay, now I'm going to turn off this layer, deselect that. Let's call this trim guide or trim mask. It doesn't matter. All right. So now if I come back to my artwork and we just scale everything up, and what else is happening here? Oh, it's a circle. Fill that with black. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so now I've got this trim guide just sitting over the top, just so I can kind of see how it's going to look. So I don't love how this is translating. I might start over with the design based on this format. But in a pinch, I mean, it works okay. Okay. So if I wanted to, if I was ready to send this to 4-over, what I would do is turn off the trim guide and I can see where things are going to get cut. All right, let's turn off these visual guides here and make sure all the artwork's filled up. We're good. Save this, and I feel like I usually send them a PDF. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate it. Here's that link if you want to. You don't have to at all. Buy me a beer to put on the coaster, but I can't find you on Buy Me a Coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/Derrick Mitchell. All one word. 2 R's. Ice skate. What's up, Salim? Over on Behance, I see you. Oh, gotta stretch. Ugh. Let's see. All right. I think we're looking good. So we've got our Photoshop file. I'm going to save this. Also, I could have designed all these layers in Photoshop, right? But I just happen to have the artwork in Illustrator. I could also have brought this over one piece at a time, right? Let's look at that real quick, and then we'll show you how to export it. So I could have copied, let's grab this bowl. I'll copy him, come back to Photoshop. I'm going to turn this off. Command V to paste that vector smart object. So now I've got just the bowl. Okay, let's rename him using my shortcut Command Shift R, which, reminder, is a custom thing. Also, I noticed the trademark didn't come through because of where I pulled this bowl from. So when you're copying artwork over, you got to be real careful they're not losing stuff from the logo. That's all right. Oh, you know what else? I just remembered. Okay, if I go to my libraries, I'm in Photoshop now, and I love libraries on the Creative Cloud because you can bounce back and forth between the applications. So if I'm in Illustrator now, I can see my libraries are all synced with all the graphic assets. And if I jump over to Photoshop, same thing. Here's my libraries. Okay, so I can grab, I forgot I had this version of the logo. This could be cool. This has potential. Let's put the bowl in front of it. I don't know. I really like the idea of where this is headed. Okay. So something else we could get into. I feel like when I only have one canvas or one spot to explore ideas, I start to hesitate. I start to slow down a little bit. So sometimes what I would do, I'll make a new document real quick. My settings are the same, 3.75 inches by 3.75 inches. Actually, let's include the bleed. Let's just make it 4 inches. I'll leave this one in CMYK for Rob. All right. Yeah, Clever says that's what he'd do, is he'd bring over all the different pieces separately. Okay, so I got distracted. Do that one more time. New document. It's going to make you redo it. Sorry. Hang tight. 300. And I want to use Artboards. So there's a little checkbox here. I'm going to click on that. Okay. So now the only difference, and we're in CMYK or RGB. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it looks like you can only do Artboards in RGB. So we'll deal with that later. I'll click create. Now you'll notice I have an artboard, which we're in Photoshop. Think of an artboard as just a folder, right? So let me throw something in here. Come back up here, Command J to jump cut that. And now I've got 2 artboards. So an artboard can be renamed. Just double click in here to whatever I want it to be. Artboard 2, Artboard 1. You can turn the visibility on and off. It's just like a folder as far as how it behaves. And when you're ready to export the artwork, you can right click and you can quickly export as a PNG or click export as. So it's pretty simple to work with. But what I like about working this way is very similar to how we did this in Illustrator, where let's go to my comps. Where I can quickly spool up a lot of ideas, right? Without feeling I have to make a new document every single time. So if I jump into Photoshop, so I could start fleshing out multiple ideas inside of here. So let's just experiment with that real quick. Let's grab my bowl. Let's grab the white and red. In fact, let's even grab our trim guide. I'm going to right click. Oh, wait. Command click. Okay. Got those 3 layers selected. Right click. Duplicate layers. My destination, I'm going to make it this new Untitled 2 document that I haven't saved yet. And now I can choose which artboard it goes to. Okay, so artboard 1, artboard 2 are just somewhere on the canvas. We'll click artboard 1, we'll click OK. And now you'll see artboard 1 has that design I just did. I'm gonna come up here to artboard 2. I'm gonna delete artboard 2. Now I'm gonna right click. I could duplicate it. I'm just hit Command J to jump cut. Or I could even hold down the Option key and drag from the title and drag an artboard copy out. Lots and lots and lots of ways to work on this, okay? But this time when I did it, it brought the artwork with me. So now if I have an idea I want to explore, you know, I can delete different layers. Don't forget to save. I haven't saved yet. I'll save this on the desktop as, oh geez, oh, what a mess. I'm gonna have to sort this after the stream. All right. So don't forget, now we're in RGB. So when we go to export this later, we want to convert it to CMYK. Lots of technical stuff going on here, but that's all right. We're having fun. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're learning something. All right, so let's go grab our pieces again. This time I'm going to grab, instead of the ones that were all kind of crazy, because we're back into this square format, I'm going to grab each piece separately, which is going to take a minute, but it'll be worth it because then we can easily manipulate it. Make sure it's a smart object. So we have the. I don't want just the H, I want the whole thing. Copy it. Man, my nose itches. I got a lot of sun the last few days. I got a little bit of a sunburn. I itch. There's too much information. You guys don't care. It's all right. The third. Uh-oh. Poor network connection again. I hope you can see me. Well, I'm going to keep going. Computer's getting a little tired. The network's dropping a little bit. It might be time to wrap the stream up here pretty soon. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to stay in touch, you can check out my website at derrickmitchell.com. You can email me at derrick@derrickmitchell.com. I'm on Udemy. I'm on Skillshare. I'm on Behance, obviously, because you guys are here watching me now. All right, looks like the stream's back, doing good. Okay, we got third bolt and back into Illustrator and Co. Let's grab the Co, jump into Photoshop, paste it in there. Okay, so now I have all the pieces of the artwork, and there's a few different ways we could play with this. If you're being really, like, look at this, my layers are all unnamed, so if I was being good about it, I'd go through and I'd rename all of them. Makes your life easier later, especially as you start cloning things. Cool. All right. Things are getting pretty jittery right now. All right. So what I might need to do, it's about time. I've got a couple phone calls coming up I got to get ready for. This might be a 3-part stream. But you can see the direction I'm headed, and this is enough. This is far enough to give me some ideas for this other version of coaster that's more of a square, right? So I can come back to this. I could bring this bowl up front. Let's see what happens when I do that. That could be cool. Could play with it being in front and behind of this other text. Now, one thing you want to be careful of, so see how the R, this is straight and has this angled line? Because it's black, it makes the tail look like that. So if I nudge this over a little bit, now the tail looks rounded. Just little details like that when you guys are doing stuff. Just kind of pay attention to what happens with things. Let's bring that in front. All right. So I like the direction of this. It's a good start. Cool. All right. I think I'm going to shut it down. Things are getting kind of glitchy. Oh, geez. Yeah, it's time. It's time for a break, for a coffee break. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Okay. So we're headed this direction using Artboards. You could do it using a regular Photoshop file. You could do it just in Illustrator. Lots and lots of ways to design and get your work out there. Check in the comments one last time. Cool. All right, guys. Let's do this. Cool. All right. Some ideas to play with next time. Oh, excuse me. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the comments. Beer is bought. Rob, you're a stud. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I truly do. I really appreciate that. Clever says, thanks for streaming. You are welcome. Enjoyed having you guys here. It's always fun when there's some interaction in the stream. So a couple things before I shut this down. So I'm going to start doing a few different things. Probably like a morning mashup style where I pick some random things and start putting it together. Time is to be determined, so stay tuned for that. If you are not part of my newsletter, you can be. Go to derrickmitchell.com, scroll to the bottom, and then you can join the newsletter. Actually, I think I have some freebies also when you join the newsletter. So derrickmitchell.com. And then any page, if you just scroll all the way to the bottom, because I hate pop-ups. So my newsletter's buried down here, but it's down here. So you can give your name and email if you want. I won't spam you, I promise. Sometimes I'll give notifications when I go live or new things that are coming down the pipe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Clever says work looks great. So check that out, that newsletter, to stay tuned with what's coming up. But I will be streaming more regularly in the mornings, doing like a morning mashup kind of a vibe thing. And then it looks like I'm going to be doing a part 3 on these coasters, and I'll keep going. I might jump in today. I think I'm going to have to do it again tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much, and have an awesome, awesome day. All right, guys, thanks for watching today. Hope you learned a lot of valuable information, and I appreciate you sticking around to the very end. But before you go, just a couple things I want to remind you. The first is, if you haven't already, feel free to like this video if you can, depending on where you're watching from. Give it a thumbs up, or subscribe, or tap the bell, or give it a follow if you can. And also maybe even just copy the link up in the browser and share it with a friend, or post it to your Facebook page. I'd really appreciate that. But again, just want to say thanks for sticking around, and I'd love to continue going live as much as possible and helping you guys out. So the best way that I can help you is by you commenting on the videos below. I read those comments. I engage with them as soon as I can, if I can, when I see them. So if it's live, I'll try and answer you right away. If this is a replay, you can still comment on the video, and I go back and I read those. So I just wanted to say thanks again for watching, and let me know what you're working on. I'd love to help you out, and hopefully we will see you in the next live. And to be sure you don't miss it, like this video and subscribe and follow and do the things. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.